He were to lose again, what would that mean for the country in your estimation?
We'd have an uprising. There's too many people that are ready to go now.
When you say, what does that mean? Can you be specific?
Civil war. Civil war.
You think it'll be a civil war if Trump loses again?
Oh, yes, I do. I know with people that I talk to, I'm a churchgoer, and I love God more than my life. But there are things that I do for God that I don't do for anybody else. And this is one thing I know that God needs some help here. You know, actually, my first election that I'd been to was Donald Trump. And
when you say your first election you've been to, you never voted before that, or?
I voted, but I never got into it. Now, you know, I can spend just all waking moments thinking what I need to do. And of course, I can't afford a whole bunch of money, but I can sure talk.
I had somebody tell me that they would take a bullet for Donald Trump.
I think I would too, because I'm not that young. If I was young, I'd never say that. But I would too. I mean,
we don't want to lose your wisdom to that.
But I don't know what it is about him. He's got that charisma, says it like it is, never backs down. He never says anything that he shouldn't.
And what you just seen there was old Granny. Granny wanting to get violent. Granny wanting to go to war, have a civil war. Because if Trump loses, that's what they're willing to do. Just like they did on January the 6th, where they just want to take over. Because they're not satisfied with the results of anything. So if he doesn't get his way, if things doesn't come her way, or she doesn't get her way and the other people, this is their mindset. And then the icing on the top is that she's talking about she's a Christian. She loves God. And if you notice, that's what a lot of them do. They carry this banner of Christianity like they're, ambassadors for Christ. And all they are doing is destroying the name of Christ, because they are what the world is seeing. The church is on the run. The church is laid back and been dormant for years. And here we go. Satan has pushed these types of people out in the forefront that is so worried about this earthly kingdom and not worried about God's kingdom that they're willing to even put their own lives on the line for a man that is in all kinds of mess his own self. And he's the one that could, I said it many videos back, he can speak out on this stuff. If he was really a Christian, he can come out and say, you know what? Hey, I don't want nobody to be losing their lives for me or getting yourself in any type of trouble with the law or anything like that. And if there's people out there claiming that they, that I stand by them on their spiritual level, and that I'm doing these things, that I'm this the great David, and that I'm this man that's been anointed and sent to save the earth and stuff. I don't have anything to do with that. I'm just a politician here trying to make people's lives better and things like that. No, he won't do that, because he's willing to go low into the gutter, low enough so that he can get the votes of everybody, even these wacky, crazy so-called people who call themselves Christians. Even the ones that these people have become so delusional, so caught up in this earthly kingdom, so caught up in this world, that they are willing to do a Jim Jones. The same thing as a Jim Jones, people that followed him to where they decided that, they were so brainwashed that they drank the Kool-Aid, even though some of them didn't want to, but they had to, because when he had armed men, militia guys pointing guns at them, and they were forced to do it, some of them. But many of them did it willingly, went ahead and did it. And that's what these folks, she's talking about she would take a bullet. And do you remember the Anna Perez? Many of you might, if you're new, you don't remember. She said this about a year ago, her and some other people. And look at this.
Something that really kind of inspired me before I did this show was hearing what Ryan said in the episode that he did today. Right before this, he said, I would take a bullet for President Trump. And when he said that, at first I was a little taken aback. I was like, all right, Ryan, that's a little much. But then I thought about it for a split second, and then I realized, no, it's not. You know why? Because President Trump would take a bullet for me. President Trump is taking a bullet for me. President Trump is prepared to take a bullet for all of us. What he's doing is actually Christ-like, and I never thought that before until today. I actually used to make fun of people who would say that because I thought, okay, that's not made fun of them, but I would be like, all right, that's a little extreme, but he's literally going to prison for.
You see this? A young lady talking about she would take a bullet for Trump and all of these things because he's taking, bullets for us. He's putting himself on the line, and what he's doing is Christ-like. You see how delusional this stuff is? And this is what the world is looking at when they say, when some people that's never been to church, or some people that's, they've been around it a little bit, and now they're wondering, like, what has happened to the church? This ain't the church that I remember hearing about growing up. This is not the Republican Party that my grandma and my family that I used to hear about and things. I mean, you talking about going off of a cliff. I mean, Democrats got their own crap going on, but you talking about the party that's supposed to be of values and morals and all of these integrity, supposed to be of somewhat, letting people live their lives and things. They didn't intertwine, got into everybody's life now, so more so the government wants to control everybody's life, so they've gotten on that part so far, and these people want to inject Christianity, the church, and politics together the way they've been trying to get it for years, so much to where they want to go to war over it. That's so much that they're willing to put their lives on the line for it. You talking about crazy times. There's people still out there that haven't gotten over the Civil War, the original Civil War. They still run around the Confederate flags, bleeding parts in the South, don't want to give it up. They're mad that they still lost, that they lost the battle, that they would love to enact many of them laws that were in place, which they're doing it already, but they would love that there's many of these laws that are on the books in the South where they sit there and still haven't gotten over the loss of the Civil War and the way things were. So these people are so delusional. Oh, they would love to have Civil War Part 2. And guess what? You're going to lose. Because this time, you've injected the name of the Lord. And the first commandment says, thou shalt not have no other God before me. And you think that God is not angry? That he is not looking upon each and every person and that is utilizing his name and shaming it and have elevated people and things in this world over him? And you think that you're going to go to battle in the name of God, in the name of Christianity, and have his backing? You're going to look like fools. You'll look just like those that tried to come against King Jehoshaphat. And they decided, the Ammonites and all of them, and decided that they wanted to go to battle with him and destroy him. And in the end, they end up getting destroyed themselves. That's what's going to happen. You sit there and think that the Lord's going to let you use him and ride him like a horse into the ground. Keep thinking that. He's going to he will not be mocked, and he's going to make a fool out of you. If you think that your idol worshiping and all of these things that you're doing to bring disgrace upon the name of the Lord, you keep thinking that. I would not want to be in your shoes because God is not going to be mocked. I remember when I was young and before I knew him, and I thought that I could do whatever and a lot of things what I was going to do. And I heard some of these things that you don't play with God. You don't do these things. But you know what? Hard-headed, young. And I thought I would test it a little bit. And you know what? I had to learn the hard way. The hard way, because if anybody knows how to break you down, it's the Lord God Almighty. He knows how to bend you and bring you to your knees. He knows that. So he will bring people, all of these people, all of them that are out here abusing, using his name, taking advantage of the saints, taking advantage of people in any kind of way with deception. He's going to bring you to the knees. And you know what? It's going to be too late for many of you. So you sit there and listen to old granny and get on her side where she's delusional. And as I told you, there's people, 60, 70, 80 years old and beyond that know better. Many of them know better, but somehow they've gotten wrapped up and the snare of the devil has captivated them to where they're so deceived that they listen to anything and they're confused. To where she's so confused to where, I don't know what it is. You know, something about him. He tell it like it is. He doesn't say do anything wrong. Really, lady? So you mean to tell me after all that you've lived, she's been on this earth longer than most, and you mean to tell me after all the things that you've seen prior to even him being involved in politics that you don't know that there's no wrong that he's done? Are you kidding me? Give me a break. The man didn't even ask for forgiveness. Said he don't even believe that he's done and lived a good life and that he don't even believe that he needs to ask God for forgiveness. So what kind of Christian does that? That's not a Christian. So if these folks want to go to battle and go on the battlefield, I tell you what, there's that old song, I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. Well, you know what? They won't be on the battle. They'll be on the battlefield, but it won't be for the Lord. And the Lord is going to get the victory in the end because we're going to continue to shine the spotlight on all of the frauds out here that continue to lie in his name, those that are worshiping this earthly kingdom and not giving God the glory, but they're giving themselves the glory by raising up their false ministries and got all of this crap going on with these events and all of these things around the nation and the world. And we're going to keep the spotlight on them, allow people to see what's going on, give God the glory, and continue to take the devil head on and punch him right up between the chops. Evangelism for God is the channel. So until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.